Hey, so here is a question. Did you ever wonder how many people are clicking this button but then failing to submit their emails? How many clicks did this button get? You probably have, because it's super important, and we will learn today how to do event tracking with Google Tag Manager and then to analyze it in Google Analytics. Again, we will be doing this exercise on the project that we created on Lead Pages. So as you remember, we sent out 1,400 people to a landing page and we had only 11 opt-ins. But right now I'm trying to figure it out how many people actually clicked on this button but maybe failed to submit the email because the form was not very good or whatever the reason that could be. So in order to learn that before actually launching this website, I would have to introduce event tracking with Google Tag Manager. This is done without coding. If you integrated Google Tag Manager, the possibility of this option being the best for you is very high. It works with almost all systems, and today we will learn how to do that. So you enter your Google Tag Manager, and the first thing that you need to do here is to make sure that all variables are enabled for clicking, because otherwise Google Tag Manager does not communicate with Google Analytics. So we will click Configure here, and we have to make sure that here with clicks we check everything. So yes, that's loading, and this is done. I see them here, so that is done. Later on, we have to instruct Google Tag Manager that it needs to start sending all the data about clicks to Google Analytics. So we clicked on triggers. We will create this trigger called generic clicks. That means that it will record all clicks. We will choose clicks all elements, and here all clicks. We will save it, and why not submitting it? I'm a little bit paranoid that some changes will get lost. You don't have to do this yet, but let's do click generic, publish, ready. We will return to workspace. And what we actually want to do now is to create a tag for this specific button in Google Analytics. So we want Google Tag Manager to send data that a user clicked on this button to Google Analytics. So we will create a new a new tag. We will call it click get tools. We will configure this tag. It is a universal analytics tag, so we want it to track events. Action is click, label free tools, value we don't have to assign it because we're not selling this tutorial, and right now we will have to create a new trigger for it. So because we don't have here anything like click this button, we only have generic clicks, we'll have to click plus. This trigger will be called click free tools, and it is click on all elements. The only difference here is that we are going to select just some clicks. Okay, so after doing this, we will do something very interesting. We will open this landing page in a preview mode, and you simply click preview up here. You return to the page, you make sure it's refreshed, and you will see here a little Google Tag Manager bar. So what you want to figure out is what is here on this button, how you could identify this button. And as you see, as I'm clicking it, here an activity log emerges. So here we have GTM clicks, and we will have to select variables here. You remember when we enabled variables here, that was why. And you see that here we get a lot of data about this specific event. We will have to select one. Okay, so usually we would use something like Click ID, but because this is done with lead pages in a special mode that enables a pop-up box, we will go with Click Classes here. Again, if it is possible to do with Click ID, please do that. So what we are going to do is that we are going to create a new tag which is going to send this specific event, this specific click to Google Analytics. We will say that it is click get free tools, action is click, label is get free tools. In tutorial there are a lot of links how to learn what are actions, labels and values, because we are not selling something, we are not going to put a value here, and for the category we will actually have to determine it click classes here, right? So the only thing that we have to do is to create another trigger. So I pressed plus on here this forum to create a new trigger. It will be click free tools. We'll configure this trigger now similarly to before, click all elements, but here we only have to monitor for some clicks, and here some clicks contains click classes, which I copied from Google Tag Manager debugger before. So this was it. So here we have to also input tracking ID. We find tracking IDs in admin, here in tracking info, tracking code. We copy this one here, put it here, save it. And before we'll actually submit it, we will do another preview. Again, we are in preview mode. We will click refresh here, and let's see what happens as we are clicking on this. Events fire, this event that we just created. That's a very good thing. So we were successful in doing this, and we can submit it and publish it as a version event tracking. Right. So the last question is, where do we see these events in Google Analytics? We will open Analytics again, and we will go to Behavior tab. We will go to Events. We will choose an overview. And as you see, as I was wildly testing, compressing the event count, account here was enormous in comparison with unique events, almost twice as much. That's pretty interesting. So here we will meet this event. And here we have this unique data about this. Right. So this is a mini tutorial. This was a mini tutorial how you can do event tracking. You might want to go and set these events as goals or part of a gold funnels if you want, but that's a material of some other tutorial. Have fun doing this stuff. Again, it's not super easy, but it's much easier than implementing a pieces of code. You can definitely do it. However, if you encounter some problems, check out more tutorials on Measurement School, which is linked into our tutorial, as well as you can ask stuff on Slack. We are always there to answer. Bye guys.